Hello! Today I'm going to show you how you can create your own miniature world inside of a cigar box. This video is dedicated to my grandpa. Shout out to Paul Noble. He makes these really cool cigar box guitars and recently gave me some of his leftover boxes. I printed out some scans from an antique book he gave me as a kid, as well as a family photo to use later in this project. I'm lining the inside of the box first with wallpaper scraps. You know how I love upcycling, but any pattern paper works great. Measure the interior dimensions of the box. Don't include the thickness of the sides. I'm using an old crappy paintbrush to paint the glue thin, as this prevents bubbling or any of the glue soaking through from it getting too saturated. I'm also cutting out some designs from the paper patterns I didn't use yet. To cut out the personal sentimental images, such as the family photo and the scans from the special antique book, I'm using these circle templates. You can really use any round object you have laying around at home, like the bottom of a cup, a bowl, a salt shaker, etc., anything like that, to trace a circle size around any special pictures that you want to cut out and use. Now, I'm laying out my different flat paper elements. Planning your designs and layout before doing any gluing saves a lot of headache. The two kids in the print are playing marbles I saw, and I have some cool beads I can glue over later to add some dimension. Brush the glue then again and use another piece of paper to apply pressure and flatten them down. Putting paper over them like this avoids getting fingerprints and getting glue all over your hands and smudging it everywhere. Now for the three-dimensional elements. I have some crafting moss and this vintage Figaro pencil sharpener. My great-grandma actually collected these, and my grandpa gave me her set, so this is another special object I'm including in this project that has sentimental value. I'm also using some vintage velvet millinery florals I picked up at an antique sale, some small rocks and rubber plants from a decoration I don't use anymore, and some broken blue glass. I'm gluing the moss first. Hot glue works best for this because it bonds instantly, and this moss can really get messy while applying. We'll further secure it by spray sealing later. I've applied moss to the bottom, as well as the areas that look like implied ground on the printed background, and also some areas of the printed trees. I think these leaves could be a good filler for the corners, so I'm going to lay them out and see. Hot glue works well for these also. Because they are wired, I can bend them and make them curl up off the background. Now I'm going to add my fake marbles. For these, I'll use weld bond glue because hot glue doesn't bond with objects that have a shiny surface very well. Since they're different sizes, I can place smaller ones in the background and larger ones in the foreground to create an illusion of depth. I made my surface level so that they don't roll around before the glue dries. Next, I'm going to add in some of the shimmering glass where I see water in the antique book illustrations. I'm using weld bond again for the glass. It dries clear, So I'm making a streak of glue first and then sprinkling and placing the glass dust over. You want to definitely sweep up if you spill any of this on the ground or your work surface, because stepping on these, even though they're tiny, would not be fun. I also want to place some of the little fabric flowers I have within the moss, so I'm switching again back to hot glue. I want the wood on the sides to still be visible as it goes with the nature theme, but it still needs jazzed up to go with everything else. I got these gold leaf flakes for a resin art project I was going to try, and I think they'd also do nicely here. Do not look to me for proper gold leaf application. There are other wonderful videos for that. I've never used this stuff before, and I'm not even using it traditionally really right now. I actually want a sort of rough, clumpy, wrinkled, weathered look. So I'm just kind of adding the glue, tossing these on here, pressing them down, and hoping for the best. I actually really like how this turned out, and I'm going to rip a leftover piece of wallpaper scrap lastly to create a clean edge. For the outside of the box, I left the sides black because I really liked that contrast, and then I brushed the top and bottom with glue and applied a piece of fabric cut to size and edged both sides of the fabric with gold ribbon. Regular Elmer's glue actually works great for fabric and paper application for crafting because it's thinner so your pieces dry flat. I used removable sticky tack like you use to put up posters to attach the well pencil sharpener, as I didn't want to put actual glue on an antique. I love how this special memento for my grandpa turned out. He always really enjoyed nature and being outdoors and gardening, and I loved the opportunity to use some special objects and include them in the piece, and special pictures as well. These are so fun because you can use any odds and ends you have around the house to make something really fascinating, and you don't have to have any specific fine art skill. I did this without any drawing, painting, or sculpting to prove that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.